Now we're going to go over a couple of macroinvertebrate sampling techniques. Today we're going to sample at a shallow end of the Prairie Ridge Ecostation, which we're at today. And for shallow sampling, all you need is a Dnet. And we have our Dnet here today. It's pretty simple. We'll go over the sampling techniques as we get down there. And we're also going to stress the necessity of a marker for our sample site. Today we will notice how we marked our sample site here today for a shallow water. So let's head on down to the sample site. So we marked our sample site with these yellow ribbons, and this way we know that this is where we sampled. And we have our little bridge down here to get on closer to the pond. So let's come on down. Perfect. So here we have usually just flat ground. If you would like, you can use boots, but today we don't have any boots on us, so we're just going to go ahead and go down. For Dnet sampling, we recommend first skimming aside all this algae, because or else you're just going to collect a lot of algae and it's a big mess to deal with. So let's skim it aside to give way to clearer water. Perfect. And then what we'd like to do is to make sure the mesh part is in the back, and we're going to go with one scoop. To scoop, we want to make sure that this entire Dnet is submerged. We don't want to commit any half scoops like this, because this isn't getting much of what is in the shallow end. You'll notice we didn't really get much but extra algae. So we're going to try again and open this up a little bit more. This way, if there are any frogs or any other things that we do not collect in this area, they do move. We notice there's a tree branch in our sample area, so we're going to make sure we don't hit that either. All right, so now we're going to submerge the entirety of the Dnet, go underwater, circle around a little bit in this area. You want to commit kind of like an infinity sign underwater a couple of times. And then we're going to come on back up, let the water drain out, and we're going to take our sample back to our base. Today, the macroinvertebrate sampling process we're going to go through after we get our sample is a little more crude than what we would like. We don't have most of the materials that are necessary here today. Ideally, you would want a bucket with clear water. Today, we cleared up the lake a little bit and got some of the lake water. Furthermore, you'd like to have tweezers, but we don't have tweezers today, so we'll make do with our hands. But this is just a sample video purpose. We recommend having tweezers during the actual one. All right, what we do next is you take the inside portion, you flip it to the outside, you put it over, and you submerge the entire mesh into the water. So anything that's clinging on or on the sides and edges will go into our water, so we get a thorough sample. Perfect. You can kind of look through this if you still want to make sure, but I think we just got out the stuff we don't need. Perfect. And then ideally you'd use your tweezers and look for what we're looking for. First, we're of course going to start off by removing all of this algae. This is completely unnecessary. If you guys notice, we already do find a lot of stuff in this water. Our example right here. Did I catch that? This is why you like to have tweezers, honestly. Alright, so the next step after we do collect our macroinvertebrates is getting them out from the tray and into our containers. So for container labeling, which we're not going to do today again because we don't want to mess up any of the new containers, you could take a white strip of paper, whatever you'd like, put it over the container, label the site. We're going to label it Site A. Put the coordinates of this location, put the date and time of the sample. Next up, what we'd like to do is fill our container with ethanol, because this will help us make sure our bugs go to a nice long rest. There we go. So we fill it up with ethanol. And in a best case scenario, what you would do is transfer our macroinvertebrates from our clear water into this with tweezers. But as you can see today, we don't have our tweezers. We do not recommend doing this, but we picked out one of the easiest bugs that we could find in here, and we laid him out down on the ground.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and get him, put him in this ethanol. As you can see, they jump around for a little bit. Look at him.
That's a big fella.
It's a big guy. Ooh, let's see if I can get any more. I did see a couple of dragonfly. Oh, there he is. There he is. Get him out. Got him. Little guy. Hop on in. Go join your friend. There we go.
It's a party now.
So you got 2 of them in there. Perfect. And then what you would do is close our friends up. Keep them in there until we take them to the lab and ID them. For IDing them, you can use the dichotomous keys available on Schoology under our familiarize section. And that'll be it for our macroinvertebrate sampling for today. Again, if you do catch any tadpoles, fish, anything along those lines, please release them back into the pond. We do not want to kill any of them.